guest starred in Night Court before, so what most excites you about stepping into this series' regular role?
Well, I think it's first of all hilarious that a criminally insane person would be asked to join this group as a prosecutor. But this is the magic of television. And apparently I have a law degree, among many other things. I love the fact that this character, I like to play neurotic people or people who have sort of little glitches in their personalities. And I think of Julianne as sort of a savant. She's very good at some things, but there's something missing up here. And I think that my hope is she's going to be going off her medication every now and then, which will keep things very interesting.
So as you said, we didn't really know that your character had a law degree. Seems like we're about to learn a lot more about her. How was your new arc as a series regular pitched to you?
Well, that was when I first said, how can you have a criminally insane person become a lawyer, a regular lawyer in Night Court? And they came up with the idea that there's a project Second Chance for people who have done their time. And Abby, having the huge heart that she has, decided that that would be the right court for me. I just thought, I haven't done a sitcom in front of a live audience for many years, but most of my career was spent doing that. And I actually had forgotten how much fun it is to be in front of a live audience. And that first time I came back to be a guest on this show, it came back to me that if you're with good, talented people and you have good writing, that's a pretty sweet gig.
One of the interesting things about her past episodes was her relationship with Dan. What can you tease about that dynamic going forward now that they're going to be together constantly?
I think we have bad chemistry, but we have chemistry. It's just not terribly healthy, which I discuss actually in this coming season. I think it's one of those interesting, it'll be a sort of tug of war between a love-hate kind of thing, where there's definitely some there where they connect on some level, but they also both know that it's probably a little bit dangerous to go there.
Well, I am also very curious about your character's dynamic with Abby because I would say that the two are kind of polar opposites.
Yeah, this is sort of shorthand of the characters I get to play. I'm never the sweet ingenue ever. I get to play the darker side, the villain, or the I like to say misunderstood. There's probably a reason why she is the way she is. I think it's a chemical imbalance personally. But I think it does set up just how incredibly compassionate and forgiving Abby is, allows her to be the light in the room where she takes a chance on somebody who is as wild a card as I am.
Well, to touch on the cases that she has to deal with, what can you share about what kind of a prosecutor she is now that she's on the other side of the table?
Well, what I pitched to Dan Rubin was, I'd love it. I'd love Julianne to think of the courtroom as kind of her acting class for being a better criminal because she has so much experience. So she could every now and then point out what they did wrong and how they could improve it. And also gives helpful hints to people who have to go to prison. I gave a scarf to someone so that he could go to the biggest guy in the yard and have a friend for life, and helpful hints like that. I think I could really help out my fellow criminals.
Well, touching on that, I would say that Julianne and Olivia kind of had some similarities. They are both very hardcore, I would say. So how might their approaches to being, a prosecutor, how might it differ?
I don't know. I think I'm sort of looking at the defendants who come in as interesting characters, and do I have anything to learn from them? And do they have anything to learn from me? I think I'm good at my job, so I want to perform, but I also have a kind of compassion for the people who come before the court, having been there so many times myself.
Is there a storyline in general that you would like to see explored for your character that the show hasn't done yet? Because again, I mean, it's early on for your character.
I'm hoping that they tap into the fact that my pitch to Dan and Melissa was that I'm like a Renaissance woman. And when I was in jail, I taught a yoga class or dancer-size class. I'm a really good seamstress, so I made custom jumpsuits for all the ladies. And it's already been established that I'm an excellent knitter and that I could make wine from the grapes. So I think she has a lot of surprises up her sleeve. And maybe I was a disc jockey. I don't know. I just think that there's any number of things she could do that could surprise you, that she kind of is a master of all trades.
Do you enjoy that this master of all trades trait for your character, that there's really no limit to what we won't be surprised that she can do?
Oh, yeah. No, I think the idea that I'm going to keep you guessing, that's what is intriguing to me about this character. And the idea is when she's on her medication, she's very effective and very, very stable, but she goes off it a lot. So you just never know when she's going to go off. And I like to mess with people, particularly John's character. So sometimes I pretend that I'm not on my medication when I am, just to mess with them.
Well, given how beloved the original Night Court was, how does it feel to be coming in as a series regular in season 3? I mean, do you feel any pressure or has it just been, have you experienced any challenges so far?
Well, they have been so lovely and gracious, and I couldn't get here because of a previous commitment, so I missed this 3 episodes here. So I feel kind of like, anytime I start something new, even though I'm older and I've been doing this for a really long time, you still always feel like it's the first day of school and you hope somebody will invite you to sit with them for lunch. And they do, and they have from the beginning. And they're just so warm and gracious and made me feel welcome, every one of them. And I so appreciate that. I always tried to do that on shows where I was one of the original cast. And it's just a strange thing when you come in as a guest, you're kind of odd man out. So I always tried to make people feel comfortable when they came to my set. And these guys have done the same for me.